Good morning, guys. Beautiful morning on the Gold Coast here. Helicopter going overhead. I'm in the pool, been to the gym. If you guys don't know me by now, my name is Tim Lynn. I'm the owner and founder of Reset Theory. And today I want to talk to you about something that is deeply personal, but something that I do want to explain to you. And a lot of stuff will make sense a little bit more after this. This topic is something that I struggle to talk about, and it probably always will. So in 2020, I lost my beautiful father. He was tragically killed in a farming accident. A tractor he was operating, it flipped over and crushed him to death. So it still brings incredible pain to talk about, to tell the story, but tragically that's what happened. So on that day, not only did I lose my dad, I lost my mate. He was the dude that I confided in for the deepest of conversations. He was the person I trusted when life was tough. I suppose, in essence, he was my rock. So, the pain of losing him has left a big hole in me that I don't think will ever be totally filled. But I want to be clear about this. This isn't a story simply about moving on. For me, it's a story about using that shattering pain and converting that energy into transitioning my life moving forward. So what makes this story even a little bit harder, I suppose, is about 3 or 4 weeks before Dad died, we had one of the most intimate conversations of my life. I remember telling him that I was more or less done from working for people. I was done with the 9-to-5 rat race. I was done with the toxic systems that I was working under. And I think I was totally done being governed by structures that were really burning me out and forever stealing my intellectual property. So at that time, I was exhausted, I was stressed, I was grossly unhappy. My PTSD symptoms were starting to flare up again. I was getting angry, and I didn't really trust myself in certain circumstances, to be fair. I remember telling Dad on that phone call, last time I spoke to him, I think I'm becoming unemployable and I need to make a big change. And I think from that, I expected him to be concerned. I think I expected some kind of resistance. But instead, what I got was unbelievable. It was everything I needed at the time. Dad listened. He didn't judge me. He was calm. And he said something that I'll never forget. He said, "Tim, mate, you are a fairly clever fella. I think if you back yourself, you won't need to work for anyone ever again." A month later, he was gone. So, in the aftermath of that tragic event, the shock of it, the grief, the devastation, I made a pact with myself. I decided I'd never work for anyone ever again, unless the circumstances of that employment filled all of my needs. So that decision wasn't made out of anger or rebellion, but out of respect for Dad and for the life we don't get back. Because when you lose someone like I lost my father that day, you were you were confronted with the brutal truth. Life is short, life is fragile, and it's wildly unpredictable. I'm not going to lie, that pain shattered me. But it also clarified so many things in my mind. Whilst Dad's death will forever leave a hole in me, it also became a life-changing moment. A moment that forced me to ask the hard questions. Questions I asked were simple as, what does freedom actually mean? What does happiness look like? What kind of life do I want to wake up to every day? So the idea of reset theory had been floating around in my mind for some time prior to Dad's death. But after he died, I decided to take massive action. I became obsessed. I spent thousands of hours jotting down notes of my thoughts. I was forever actively thinking and changing my own belief structures. I questioned everything I'd been taught about things like work, success, identity, security, all those factors. And through that process, I've since developed a blueprint for how I want to live my life. I created my own system built primarily around 6 core topic beliefs or principles tailored to my life, to my needs, my wants. As we go on, I really want to share those 6 core topic beliefs with you guys, but we'll leave that for another day because it's quite in depth. And I want you to realise that that package would be tailored specifically for your needs, not mine. So what I want you to hear today really is, from shattering loss came purpose, and from unbelievable and unbearable pain came transformation. So I want you to know reset theory wasn't born primarily from motivation, but from grief, clarity, and truth. So if you're watching this and you guys are feeling trapped and burnt out, and maybe you are disconnected from your passions, please hear me out. You don't need permission to live life on your terms, and you don't need to wait for a tragedy like I did to wake you up. Because guys, tomorrow is not promised. Sometimes the most powerful resets come from the moments that break us. I want you to think about that. Sometimes the most powerful resets come from the moments that break us. Hey, you guys have a great day. Be kind to yourself and love each other.